Okie dokie. Welcome back to Love Ru Anime Review Part 10B. This is discussing the last two episodes of Matsu to Love Ru. Well, technically the last two episodes of the original To Love Ru anime. Plus, I'm also going to discuss my final thoughts on the anime and what chapters this anime didn't bother to adapt. I will discuss that. Now, in these episodes, basically, these are pretty much the end of the series, these episodes. Now, what chapters does these episodes adapt? Well, these two episodes, 11 covers chapters 116, 118, and 115 to 158. 12 is 119, 122, and 159 to 162. Yep. Covers pretty much like the last little bit. At least that's the ending of the actual manga. Excuse me. Yeah, the first one is basically All Quiet Sister Front. This mostly put it to the same from the manga, where Minkin basically is worried about Momo, so she sneaks to her brother's room just to make sure she doesn't sneaks up into his bed, because she attempts to do that, and, well, so she ends up sleeping in the same bed with him. No, not doing anything sexual, just sleeping there. And then, of course, she's like, okay, it looks like Momo's not going to come, so she's going to leave. And then, basically, Rito, who's asleep, apparently decides to try to pull down his own sister's shorts. Now, he's asleep, so he has no idea he's doing this. And, like, grabbing her butt. Yeah, I know I'm describing something really weird for brother and sister to do. But here's the thing. He doesn't know he's doing it. He's fast asleep. Minkin knows he's doing it, but he doesn't. So, after a while, basically, she tries to leave, but eventually she does leave, and, well, the whole thing is basically set at night. Next is The False Love. Yep. This one, believe it or not, is basically a bit of a follow-up to another story with them. Let's see. It's a follow-up to Pollen Telepathy. Yeah, one where Colleen was basically spreading these pollen because she's a plant in human form. So she ends up drinking cola, and she ends up getting drunk, so Rito and Lala chase after her, and she exposes her pollen to Yumi. And she spends the whole episode with Rito, so like a date, and then basically after the date is over, the thing falls off, and it's very often implied that Yumi, despite the fact she really wants to kill Rito, she's basically been trying to kill him, she apparently has fallen for him. It's very heavily implied here. And, oh, that's pretty much it for that story. Next one is to set up for the final episode of the series, where it's Romantic Forecast, where we have this thing basically where like Nana's upset with Momo, and this one's important because it sets up the final episode of the series, where Lala has a conversation with Haruna and talks to her like, do you like Rito? And she's like, and of course she reveals to Haruna that she loves Rito, and she kind of figures out though that Haruna likes Rito, and she's like, oh, I'm so happy, I'll support you. Yeah, she's got no problem with the fact that she's also in love with the same man she is. Yeah, she's completely open to it. And she's like, she'll support the romance, no problem. And so the very next episode, she's like, okay, let's have basically Rito confess both to, well, do some confessions. Yeah, there's also a thing where, basically a side thing where, like, one of Makito's patients basically bring a pet to Earth, and, well, I'm losing it. Basically, it's this amiibo. Yeah, his pet is amiibo from space. So then we have the whole episode basically having all the characters in swimsuits. Makito basically wears barely anything else, basically like two straps. Everyone else wears pretty much bikini. Well, basically regular swimsuits. Makito basically wears like a regular swimsuit of two-piece, while all the rest of the girls wear mostly bikinis. And we also see that Rune and Kaito is here too, doing a performance because they apparently become a duo since become good friends when she made a guest appearance on her TV show. Yeah, they become really good friends. And of course, then this giant amoeba basically pops up and starts sexually harassing the girls. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. Also, the principal's there because of course he is. So Kido basically has him fried. Then of course, then the amoeba shows up and named Nunu, so he ends up basically going after her and all the rest of the girls. And then of course Rito steps in and basically stays both Haruna and Lala when they get trapped by this amoeba. And he's like, who do I save? And he's like, screw it, I'll save both of them. He throws it right out. But lucky enough, Lala basically frees him. And both Lala and Haruna are very appreciative of the fact that he risks to save both of them. Yep. So Momo and Rito have a conversation. And basically, Rito reveals to Lala that he does like her. In the manga, he says he loves her. I'm not really sure why they changed it to like from love to like. It makes no freaking sense. And he's like, but wait. And she's like, oh, I'm so happy that you like me. He's like, but wait, I'm not finished yet. I also like somebody else. And I've liked her for a long time. And it's somebody you know. And she's like, is it Haruna? And then he's just like, yeah. It's Haruna. The viewers have known since the start of the series he's wanted to confess to her. And then she's like, okay, why don't you go confess to her right now? Yep. And then he tries to, and Orocho basically tries to force them, but ends up basically having a top come off, and then he inadvertently confesses that he loves all the girls by pure accident. And then, of course, the episode ends basically with, Lala liking the fact that this confession happened, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll all get married, we'll all basically marry Rito and live together. And of course she mentioned though that she's open to, of course, mentions does not mention the manga here, but was mentioned here that she have Rito marry both her and Haruna, because Haruna is his best friend, and very implied here that we're setting up To Love Ru Darkness. Yes. We're setting up that, which, okay, that's interesting. Though the anime itself wouldn't come for 2 years. Yep. Excuse me. But yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of the series. I gotta say, when they adapted for the final few chapters of the series, they did a really good job. I would say not much change here. No, not really. For the last 2 episodes, I don't think they really cut anything. Not that I saw, no. But 2 episodes overall, really good. Final thoughts on the anime, on overall from the start to finish. The original To Love Ru anime I thought was pretty interesting, though I thought one of the episodes was this I thought was quite weird when it comes to when they adapt this. I would say up until you get to, I'd say 8, it's actually pretty good, and then it's like they don't really do much of anything when it comes to adapting from the manga. The only episodes that do really good adapting-wise are episodes 11, 13, 17, and 20. Yes, these few episodes basically adapt very much in the manga. Though in the case of episode 20, it's mostly adapted from one of the short stories from the series. Yeah, the series had several short stories, believe it or not. Yes, several. To Love Ru Darkness did the same thing too. And yes, they are collected in the original manga itself. And in case you're curious, okay, since they got the 162, is there any chapters they skipped? Oh, yes, they skipped chapters. They skipped over chapters 11 to 29, 31, 33, 34, 39 to 42, 46, 52, 53, 59 to 60, 62, 63, 66, 69, 72 to 73, 77, 79, 80, actually, no, they did have 81, basically 82 to 84, 86, 89 and 82, 99, 103, 110 to 112, 120, 122, 124, 128, 130, 138, 140, 144, 145, and 149 to 151. So, a good number of chapters they skipped over, but even though they skipped over a lot of chapters, at least they adapted the freaking ending of the actual manga. Yes, the ending of the anime is the same as the manga, so no change there. And I like the fact they adapted from the manga ending. I like it when the anime, when they end, they actually end on a canon episode, and so just make up their own thing to end the series. Now, as for why the series at this point, now I appreciate that To Love Ru did a lot better job when it comes to adapting the manga and pretty being faithful to source material. Not the case with Two Love Ru. First half, well, like I said, pretty good. And the second half is like, with the exception of like a few episodes, they just basically just didn't freaking care. Just basically, there are a lot of original stuff here. Though, I should point out though, for Matsu Love Ru, now there's one character who appeared at the start of the series. They dramatically reduced his role in the series halfway through, and that was Zestin. Yeah, he appeared sporadically for the first half of the original Love Ru series, and then they just dropped him off for some reason. Yes. Yeah, here's the thing about the sequel manga, Two Love Ru Darkness. As I basically read, I read the 6 right now. Guess how many chapters Zestin has actually appeared in? He's appeared in 3 chapters out of 67. Yeah. That's how well they treated him. Though his last appearance in this series, he appeared in 2 episodes of Matsu Love Ru. The episode where Saki wanted to confess her love for him, and a kind of flashback-ish thing where Law basically convinced Zestin to finish up Rito's dead artwork. Yeah. And here's something interesting about this. Now, I managed to watch the original season all dubbed. No problem. But when it came to stuff afterwards, like the OVAs and Matsu Love Ru, for some reason they're not been dubbed yet, despite the fact being dubbed by Senta Filmworks. Yes. Which I'm like, really? Like, Senta Filmworks dubbed the series, and they only dubbed just the first season. Now, maybe because they just got the dub last year, I have no idea. That's basically how it is. I think the dub did a really good job. I think they did really good. There's one thing I've got to more discuss when it comes to the series before I close out this video. And that is basically a mild bit of controversy that the series reached last year with a particular idiotic from California. Wanted to basically, even though he read the manga when he was younger, he wanted to basically put trigger warnings in the actual manga itself because of all the adult stuff happening in it. Like, there was somebody firmware pointed this out though. That's completely unnecessary. If the series has to just put it at the start of it. That the thing is basically a very mature series. That's basically the thing with Two Love Ru and Two Love Darkness. They're both mature series. Put the rating on there, and you won't have little kids read the damn thing. That's my best thing for it. Like, this is one of 2 series basically I come across where there's actually some flack for it online. Last one was basically Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And that was because some woman basically found her child reading it when she took it from a library. Why the heck would a library even have this manga in there? I have no idea. I mean, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is not basically, it's even though it's kind of an adultish manga, but at least basically it's not like fan service to the extreme like Two Love Ru is. Yeah, there's lots of fan service. There's nudity in it. As a matter of fact, there's a lot more nudity in the manga than there actually is in the anime, believe it or not. Though, my biggest problem with the anime, well, not the case with the original season or the OVAs. My biggest problem with Matsu is not the adaptation process. That was really good. My thing with this season was the censorship. I thought it was really stupid. The fact they had this blinding light here. Yeah, let's have a blinding light be a censor bar. I mean, I get the fact you want to censor nudity, fine. But they also censor freaking groping. I'm not kidding about this. They seriously did. Like, apparently this was okay to do. Lucky enough they stopped this toward their last few episodes. They replaced it with like a black thing, which I thought was a lot better than the freaking blinding light. Like, here's the thing. They have shown nudity prior to this without censors. And yet this season's like, okay, let's just censor a lot of stuff that's completely unnecessary. I'm not sure whose bad idea that was, but I hope when Senta Filmworks can handle this, like, please, for the love of God, get rid of the super censor bars. Because I found it to be so irritating and just a big annoyance when I see it on screen. Yeah, hopefully when they dub this particular season, like the episode where Yumi gets sick, I hope they actually use actual line dialogue from the manga instead of implying it was Earth's atmosphere. It was basically back Yumi, even though it was actually transformations doing it. Yep. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this series. It's good. I would not recommend it for the kids. No. I would recommend it for simply high schoolers to adults. That's who I recommend the series because, well, the characters are high schoolers. Have high schoolers read the series. That's my personal guess. That's my personal suggestion. Do not have little kids read the manga, watch the anime, because there's a lot of nudity in it and a lot of adult humor in it. So, no. Don't have kids watch it or read the manga. And like I said, this is one of a handful of series I would definitely say never show the kids at all because of all the nudity in it. Yeah, though, from what I've heard about Two Levels of Darkness, it's going to be a lot different than this. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I am almost done reading the manga, but I'm going to basically not watch this yet because I'm going to go ahead and basically return to watching Star Trek Picard, watching 4 more episodes of the series before I get a chance to start watching Two Levels of Darkness. Yes, I'm going to watch that series, and then after that, I'm going to watch Assassination Classroom. Because I do have that one lined up to basically watch because I read the manga, so why not watch the anime? Yep. Though the anime is not as long as the manga. The manga is 180 chapters. If you're curious about how long, in the case of Two Levels is, the original manga is 162 chapters. Yes, it is. Now, would I think that there could be another season for the original Two Levels anime? Yes. You could definitely do another season. I mean, there's plenty of material you could choose from. Oh, yes, there's tons of it. Yeah, there's enough here to do with, at least 2 or 3 seasons. You could do, an Untold Tales. And probably have some chapters that weren't faithfully adapted. You could probably do a lot more close adaptation. There's good, almost 100 freaking chapters they could probably adapt. And this would make a good full season if they wanted to. I would definitely think so. Would I think that the original studio who made this series would actually bother to do anything with it? Probably not. They probably have no interest in reviving the series because, well, they probably move on to other things. Yeah. I always like it whenever a series actually fully adapts the entire manga by the time you reach the final episode. Not many series have come across have been like that. The only series I can think of where they actually finished something down the whole manga has been Naruto. I know Fairy Tail has done it. I know Bushido Ruki has done it, except they skipped 1 chapter, but it was fine. Inuyasha pretty much had almost this entire series, except for a small number of chapters, which can make a whole season, but at least they have pretty much almost the whole thing. And not many of them I come across, so basically where the final episode tends to be a canon episode. Bleach, and the last time when it aired, that last episode was technically canon, despite the fact they didn't adapt the final arc of the manga, though they're going to adapt it this year. The rumor is October. That's the rumored release date for Bleach coming out this year. But who knows, okay? So yeah, that's a particular review. My next review is a comic corner of 2 Marvel trades. And I've been wanting to discuss these for some time, okay? See you next video. Bye.